Financial principles I wish I had learned earlier. Imagine take out a loan for $200,000 to purchase your first home. The interest rate is the percentage of that loan you pay to the lender for the privilege of that loan, and its term, the duration of time. Rate and term interplay to yield different totals. So first example, 6% over 30 years. The interest, or the total amount you've paid to your lender during that time, over $250,000. Plus, you still have to pay the house itself, so together, nearly $500,000. Now, if we drop down to 4%, same amount of time, substantial savings. And people think 4%, 6%, what's 2%? That's not much. Well, large sum of money, long period of time, the difference is significant. Or if the interest rate were to stay the same, paid off more quickly, and great savings that way as well. And of course, the ideal, shorter term, lower rate, most savings. So that's the ideal, and the real is what most people end up paying. The interest is the money you pay to the lender, whereas the principal is the money that goes towards your house. And when you sell the house, that's the money you keep. Let's put this into perspective. You know someone who's very wealthy, and that person wants to buy a new toy, and that toy costs the same as the house. But this person's wealthy enough to pay for it in cash, and the tax for that Lamborghini will be about $12,000. In contrast, go to a cheap burger joint, and your tax on your meal is pocket change, in contrast to tax on a Lamborghini, which is enough to buy a used car. So your $200,000 home at 6% or your Lamborghini at 6% tax comes out the same. So money goes to the lender and money goes towards the house. Now you subtract that difference, and the next year you're going to pay interest on the remaining balance. So you see, this is the big difference between sales tax and interest. Sales tax is one and done. Interest gets reset each year, and you pay new interest on the new numbers. So in this case right here, in 2 years' time, I've paid $24,000 to my lender. And let's project that forward 10 years, because statistics show the average homeowner owns the first house for about 10 years. Over 10 years, I would have amassed $32,000 that I get to keep towards the principal. But after a decade of paying, I still owe the bank nearly $170,000. Not only that, I've given the bank in that amount of time over $100,000. Lower rate, less time, and I start off right away putting more money towards the house itself than giving it to the bank. And project that forward 10 years, and you see I have close to $120,000 in my pocket when I go to sell the house and owe the bank just $80,000. And during that same period of time, I've paid about half to the bank as I did with a 30-year loan. So when it comes time to shop for a house, you have pretty much in your mind how much you're going to spend. Interest rates are prevailing. In other words, there's a going rate for a certain time. You're not going to see one lender offer 6% and another lender offer 4%. They'll be pretty close. So there's not much you can do about that. What you have most control over is the loan term. In this example, 30-year, 20, and 10. And below, you see their monthly payments. Look to the right, and you'll see that few people can afford to pay monthly payments on a 10-year loan. So let's cross that off our list and compare the 20 versus 30-year mortgage. And this is significant, because the difference between these two is not that much. And yet we saw the difference in savings is significant. And that difference in savings is also true after 10 years if you sell your house. Nine out of 10 homeowners will select a 30-year mortgage. Why? It's the bottom line. The extra money you save each month is enticing, but you have to consider the long term. So, what are your options? Compare monthly payments between a 30 and 20-year loan, and if you can afford the 20-year loan, that's your choice, hands down. But remember, 90% will choose the 30-year loan, yet not all of them had to. In fact, many could have used a principle I want to show you now, hence the name of this presentation, Principles I Wish I Had Learned Earlier. So if it's a stretch between the two loan options, be conservative, take out a 30-year loan. However, note the difference and pay that difference separately each month to your lender and tell them you want to apply that money towards the principal. And this will have the exact same effect as taking out a 20-year loan. But the upshot is, if you have times or seasons of financial stress, you're not obligated to make up that difference. So you're not stuck with $14.33 every month. You're committed to $11.99. So you don't have to risk potential foreclosure or refinancing. So this is a conservative route, but with the same benefits. In fact, if you do this and add money towards the principal, if you sell your house after 10 years, you have the same benefits there as well. Less money would go to the bank each year, and at the end of 10 years, more than twice as much money will have been applied towards your principal. So when it comes time to shop for a home, do your homework, understand some important terms, and you'll be better prepared to shop. Understand what private mortgage insurance is. We just covered paying down the principal, the difference between a fixed and variable interest rate, and when one might be better than the other, and what it is to pay points. Quickly, that's like taking my 6% example in the beginning and paying up front a little extra money so you can drop it down to a 4% interest rate. So you pay up front but save over the long term. And happy house hunting.